So gender equality, and I know that again, Morris and myself have had many conversations about this. There are millions, hundreds of millions of girls and women who don't have access to education. We actually have a policy of a scholarship policy, which I'll share at the end and give you an example of some of the policies we've been working on. And these are public. EBU will have these as public statements. And the rationale behind making things public is to make universities accountable. So by having it public, it means you're actually exposing yourself, saying, here's what we do, here is who we are. And the student body and the community body can say, hang on a second, we haven't seen that. Or they can say, yes, we agree. And that's why Times Higher Education give points for it being public, because it's actually a university making an overt statement of, these tie into our mission and vision. These are what we practice. This is who we are. So it's really, really important. So gender inequality is as it is at the moment. So SDG 5 is looking for equality in gender, and hopefully trying to redress some of that. And EBU is in a great position to be able to offer access, and particularly targeting reducing this inequality. Next slide, please. So you see 119 million girls, and if you include women, and according to some data, it's over 200 million, and that can be because of culture, religion, socioeconomic, distance. There's a myriad reasons behind this, but it is a really worrying statistic, and something that we have the ability to address. Next slide, please. So here are some things we can do. We can do, first of all, research, and this is for all the SDGs. We can look and do data collection of our first generation female students. We can have a look at how we're promoting access for education, having policies, so we actually make it that it's in our consciousness. And it's not saying being biased against men, it's saying let's make sure we have this diversity. Let's make sure that we're providing access as suitable as possible. You still want to have people who are qualified for the courses they're doing, because that in turn becomes our graduation pass rate. So we're not saying give them a free ride. What we're saying is let's make sure that we open the net to capture as many people that want to and have the ability to attend EBU. And being aware of, let's make sure we get a balance. Women's applications in underrepresented subjects. 40 years ago, I had a scholarship from the Australian government to become a teacher in primary school. And that was because they needed more men in primary education. Typically in Australia at that time, it was largely women, and families were becoming away from the nuclear family. So there are a lot of single parents, there are a lot of broken homes, and the government said, let's get more men into a role in primary education. And as a result of that targeted policy, I was able to get a scholarship to become a teacher. That changed my life. We need to do the same thing for women now. There are industries where women are underrepresented, and unfortunately, especially in Asia, the higher you go up any career in Asia, the less and less women you find, but it occurs in every country. We have a chance to try and redress some of that. And even in ourselves, having our academics, our faculty members, do we have women being represented there? And that becomes a policy for EBU. And these are really strong statements. Having an equal employment opportunity caveat on any of our advertising, an overt statement. We encourage applications from minority groups. In Australia, for example, you can identify as an Aboriginal or Torres Islander. And that's a really wonderful way of making sure we're trying to get some of that catchment. It doesn't mean it's at the cost, and this is where people misunderstand. They think, it's at the cost of a Caucasian. It's not. It's saying we are encouraging applications from people who are underrepresented, because it's a way of getting an increased worldview. It's a way of getting increased discussion and dialogue in any industry. Next slide, please. So we can look at things like the proportion of women getting degrees. We can look at do we keep track? Do we have mentoring programs in place for our women? looking at maternity and paternity policies. So this means things like EBU for its staff can look at things like maternity and paternity. Sometimes it's the man who can take carer's leave, for example, as opposed to the woman. Looking at our students, do we have facilities for our students? Now, we don't have the case of face-to-face classes. We can still be aware that if one of our students is having a baby, her schedule could be all over the place. Can we accommodate that? Are we empathetic, not sympathetic, but empathetic to her needs, for example, or her family's needs? So it just means that we're raising awareness both externally to the community, as Morris said, but also internally as an institution ourselves, okay? Things like policies protecting things like reporting discrimination. We want to be able to protect people. In America, they call it a whistleblower. But we want to have where we encourage people. If you see something, say something. That kind of common language, because the common language means you have the mores and local context in your own organization. Next slide, please. Thank you.